Well, we're going to be painting another Hasbro Titan Hero figure. This time it's Valkyrie, and she's in sort of a version of the costume she wore in Thor Ragnarok, but it's sort of the wrong colour, so I might have to repaint that. So first thing, I'm going to get this out of the box, get the figure out of the box, and then we'll see what the actual figure's like. So the figure is actually quite nice. It's a good likeness of the actress. It's quite nicely moulded, a lot of detail, so I think it will paint up quite well. The body is moulded in an almost translucent white plastic, which is a bit weird. It should really be grey on all these parts, so I'm probably going to have a hefty part of repainting the figure, but that does make it interesting. Weirdly, they put the flap on the belt on the back, but they haven't put the corresponding one on the front, presumably because then the legs wouldn't be able to pivot. It's a usual Hasbro limited articulation, so you've got ball joint shoulders, ball neck, and ball hips, and that's it. Your hands don't move or anything. So what I'm going to do is try and get the head off, and then we'll come back and we'll start painting. Okay, so the head came off really easy on this one. Very nice. It's almost a full rubbery head, so that's going to be easy to pop back on. Very long neck, so the socket of the ball joint is right up in the top of the skull. So we're going to paint the flesh first, and I'm going to have to mix some custom shade on this, because obviously my normal flesh shade won't be suitable. So what I'm going to do is mix the flesh shade with some Mournfang Brown and see if we can get a nice sort of base flesh tone. Okay, so I mixed a nice shade and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so while that flesh shade is drying out, I'm gonna block in some of the grey panels where the sort of chainmail texture is, and for that I'm just going to use a very light grey, so something like Dawnstone should be fine for that. So I'll give another couple of coats to the flesh, and then I'll start blocking that in and we'll come back and have a look. Okay, so flesh shade is dry. My normal shading technique isn't going to work on this flesh shade, so what I'm going to do is try and mix some flesh wash and dark tone. So these are Army Painter quick shades that I've purchased from a local gaming shop. So I'm going to give these a go. I've not used them before. It might work, it might not. There we go, let that dry. Okay, so it's dried, not looking too bad. So what I'm going to do now is use the base colour and lightly blend the shading in, just to make it a bit less prominent. What I'm going to do now is mix a little bit of red, so just a fist on red, into the base colour, just to give it a bit of warmth. It's just giving the cheeks a the glow. That's nice, that's very good. So next I'm going to use a slightly lightened version of the flesh tone. So I'm going to lighten it a little bit more with some Cadian. Looking good. Next is the eyeballs. So I'm going to use white for that. There we go. I'm going to have to tidy up one of those. And then I'm also going to use the flesh shade I did with the red in, just to do the lip colour. I'm also going to do the eyebrows. I'm going to do the eyebrows in black. I'm going to let the eyes dry, give another couple of coats on the eye, and I'm also going to undercoat the hair just in black like that. So I'll do that all over and then we'll come back. Okay, so the eyes are dry. We're going to paint the eyeball in, and I'm just going to use Horn Fang Brown again. While that's drying, I'll just show you the body, what I've done so far. So I've painted in all the grey areas. It would have actually been easier to spray the body grey and paint the white bits back on, to be honest. So what I'm going to do on this is going to just lightly dry brush, probably run a little bit of ink, flesh shade in there just to bring up the highlights, then dry brush it, and that should be enough for the body. I think that looks a lot better. I'm going to tidy up the edges. But yeah, I wish I'd have done it in grey and white. It looks so much better. Okay, how's the eyes going? It's still a little bit wet, so I'm going to come back once that's dry. Okay, that's dry, so I'm just going to add a pupil in black. And also use that to add a bit of eyelash. Do that on the other eye and come back. Okay, so I've just added a little bit of my standard flesh shade, which is Reikland flesh shade, just into the eyes, just to dull them down a tiny bit. So what I'm going to do now is add a tiny white dot into the eyes as sort of an indication of a reflection. There we go. And then I'm going to lightly, very lightly dry brush some white. Actually, I'm not going to use white. I'm going to dry brush some of the lighter brown. There we go. So I'm going to pop the head back on the body. It'll do some dry brush on the body. We'll come back and see the finished product. Okay, so I've attached the head. I've painted on they're meant to be little squares, but my my eyes and hands are not that good, so I've just sort of indicated them with some white paint. So I think it's a really nice figure. We've run some ink in here. It's not quite dry, so I'm just going to dry brush that afterwards. But yeah, I've added some gloss to the eyes and the lips, which is still drying. But again, a nice figure from Hasbro. I didn't even know Valkyrie was available in this series, so I spotted them in Tesco's. So I thought I'd pick that up. But yeah, so thanks for watching. If you want to see more of these figures, please like and subscribe. It all helps the channel. And thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time. Thanks then. Bye.